All right.
Let's
We're
go.
live.
Shit, my dad
What's
taught me.
happening?
What's going on?
Shit, my dad taught me.
Well, he taught me some shit.
He
I'm not going to
does.
lie.
Well, let's
some of it
find out
good, some of
more.
it bad. Yeah.
We got a friend in studio today. It's Mr. Matthew Stevenson. Matt,
Morning.
welcome, bud.
Welcome, brother.
I just gave away that it's morning right now.
Thanks for coming
in the timeless
early morning.
expanse of the internet. Yeah.
Miles has made us this little dungeon here, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Not just as an early morning, like you guys are also fasting right now too. You
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
bastards.
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah,
Mhm.
day 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Final day. Yeah.
yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
are done tonight at dinner, or are you gonna do what you did last time and push it to breakfast?
Tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push it to breakfast because
Yeah.
I have to win everything I do. Although it's not a contest, everything's a contest.
You're gonna wait for the message from Matt, like, yeah, just ate.
Matt will be like, "Hey, just ate." I'll be like, yeah, "Pussy." No. I'm excited to have you here, man. So
Excited
to
to be
give
here.
give the
Thanks.
listeners a little background, we're all great friends. We've known each other, and you've certainly known Jamie for longer than me. And your families are you travel together, and great buds. So this is a fun one because whenever we bring a friend into the studio, I kind of think I know a few things about him, but then you go and have to do ChatGPT, and you learn even more about him. So
What do you know?
what do you know? So maybe we'll start with that. Want to do
Yeah.
ChatGPT intro?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Matt. So because you've seen the show, we do a ChatGPT. We try not to tweak it at all and let it bring whatever it finds on the interweb. So here we go. Matthew Stevenson is an insurance and estate planning expert who helps business owners and families preserve their wealth, maximize cash flow, and navigate the complexities of estate and tax planning. He specializes in using life insurance and annuities to ensure people leave behind more than just memories. That's pretty good. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
All
You know what? This is reminding me of a great YouTube channel that I like as well called the Loudwire Wikipedia Fact or Fiction for Metal Stars. Like they'll have Zach Wilde on there, they'll have Slash on there, and they'll say, okay, so you were born on January 8th, 1971 as Jeffrey Philip Wylant in Bayou, New Jersey. And Zach Wilde will go, correct, keep going. And so here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who my
You guys didn't
favorite
even
is?
know that you're doing some cool shit.
And it
here.
actually
Yeah.
goes a little bit deeper here too, so we'll see how it did.
We
But
were just trying to be lazy.
yeah, we were just we'd really like the computers to do the work. The one that I like is Nardwuar. Have you seen any of his? Like, I mean, he's been around for probably decades, but he's got this interview style that just blows people away. Like he'll come with props. He'll be like, "Hey, did you Maddie in the Deep Cuts? You were here at this time and whatever."
Yeah.
And he pulls out like an LP, and they're like, "We don't even have that." Like, that's where we're headed. You know what? A little help from AI, we'll get there. So
This is actually avatars. Like we aren't even here right now.
Miles, make Jamie say some dumb shit. Go ahead.
That's pretty easy.
So ChatGPT goes on to say, but Matthew is not just about numbers and financial strategies. He's a family man first. He's a proud father to a boy and a girl, balancing the demands of work and making sure he's present for the people who matter most. And here's a fun fact. Matt is also a seasoned voice actor with a diverse portfolio that includes clients such as BMO, Manulife, Tangerine, and your Toronto Blue Jays.
You got it. Yeah. I reached my peak voice acting, I thought, a couple of years ago when I was just watching a TV movie with the kids on the couch and heard a commercial that I'd done for Ancestry, incidentally, during a Blue Jays game. And I thought, that's it. I did it. I saw myself on a commercial during a Jays game. Yeah. Yes, I have arrived. And then little did I know that a couple of years later, I'm going to be narrating for the Blue Jays. I thought, okay, so I can deal with this.
What would your record be for the games that you've narrated for the Blue Jays?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Are the Jays like 3-0, 4-0?
Well, they've been some tight games, and the most recent one I narrated that I was actually at, so I didn't get to hear myself, they won.
There you go.
So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and tell the folks you're a huge Jays fan.
Oh, totally. Lifer. I was at the Joe Carter home run game. I'm excited to be able to tell you. I was at 100 games at Exhibition. No exaggeration. I was at 100 games Exhibition Stadium with my mom in the 80s. And we started going 1984 when I was 9 or 10 years old or whatever. And I'm probably at 200.
ChatGPT didn't say you're old as shit.
Yeah. Oh,
1984, I was 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lifer Jays fan for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
What it did miss, though, it missed that he was also the 2024 All-Star first baseman for the championship-winning Tigers last year.
I was, yeah.
were.
Not the Detroit Tigers.
Not the
but
Detroit
yeah,
Tigers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Burlington Beer League softball championships.
Still an accreditation.
Yeah.
Still a trophy.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my Joe Carter story, by the way?
Let's hear it.
Have I ever? Okay, so we've got.
Is that this guy?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
Joe Carter here, and I had the good fortune of meeting him at one point, and great guy. And I'll send Miles some pictures of the time I met him because it was insane. It was at a golf tournament, and
Nice.
just awesome. But I digress. So the Joe Carter 1992
92 World Series
was the World Series home run. Yeah, I always forget if it's 92 or 93.
was the home run.
It's 93.
92 was when he was playing first base.
Okay, so 93,
Yeah.
the home run, which is the picture we've got on that. You can't see
Yeah.
behind Jamie's massive, impressive torso, but it's back there. So when I was a kid,
I'm more impressed by his upper body.
it's so good. It's so big. Yeah, you look so tall today, too.
Yeah.
You look taller.
It's
I
the
don't know.
shoes.
Is it the shoes? Yeah. So game is on.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. Jays fan, obviously. I'm a young guy. Game starts to go a little late. And mom comes down and she's like, you should go to bed. Like it's getting really late. And I'm like, well, I got to finish watching the game, right? And at the time, my uncle Wayne, shout out Uncle Wayne, was visiting as well too, and he was watching the game with me, and we were getting ready, and we didn't know obviously what was about to happen.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, it's time for bed. You got to go to bed. So I stormed off, and I was so I go to bed, and he hits the home run, and I find out about it the next morning, and I was so mad. And to this day, with my kiddos, I let them stay up way past bedtime because I'm like, what if?
This
What
is
if
not
you
gonna
get
happen
another
again.
once in a lifetime? What if you get another touch 'em all, Joe?
Yeah.
Right? Like you only get to see that live one time.
Can't say that anymore.
No. Oh, why not?
Touch them all.
Oh, is that different?
No, we're a few years past
specifically
that
the
sort of
basis.
thing.
Yeah. But an incredible
It's
moment.
not a safe space anymore.
Yeah, and you talk about incredible voice work. How's that for like maybe the most iconic Jays call of all
Tom
time?
Cheek, yeah.
Oh, so good.
Awesome, yeah.
So good. And tell me about the other stuff. So you said, I know ChatGPT said BMO, Manulife, Tangerine, but then you also mentioned, what was the other one you just said? What was the-
Ancestry.
Ancestry.
I said it, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been all over the place.
Cool old commercial, yeah.
How do you get those gigs?
Well, you have to get a talent agent to do a demo for you. And like I got into this 10, 11 years ago, and it just
Are there non-talent agents? Inquiring minds want to know.
A friend of mine is asking. Yeah.
they say that anyone has a niche in the voice acting business. You just have to find it, right? So I got all the faith in you.
We've been told that we've got the voice for TV.
Yeah, that's right.
You got the face for radio.
Yeah, we have the face for radio, though.
And now we're in a
I was leaving that part out.
Now we're in a podcast era where fuck y'all, you don't even have to have talent. You just need the internet.
If you don't want to look at us, you just got to listen to us.
Got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
But just
cool.
do a demo, send it around to talent agents. One of them will pick you up and start sending you auditions. And if you have a good enough demo, then people will start booking you for gigs straight. Like when I did that, the first of my Blue Jays narrations, it was like a Friday afternoon, 2023. They hadn't secured a playoff spot yet. They needed another team to lose that night. And I got sent an email saying, are you available Saturday or Sunday to record a project? And I said, sure. And then I get an email response saying, great, it's for the Blue Jays. We need them to win on Friday night. And if they're in the playoffs, then on the weekend we'll record this thing and it'll start off the playoffs for the season. It was just such a cool experience.
We got to put a little clip of that too. Miles, you got to cut that in for us.
The Toronto Blue Jays are going to the postseason.
This is the story of the 2023 Toronto Blue Jays and how a topsy-turvy season for the ages culminated with them 13 wins away from a world championship.
So not only were you a big fan hoping they were going to win anyways,
Yes.
then you were like, fuck, now they really need to win.
Yeah, so cool. And then tell us about family life, man. So ChatGPT, 2 kids.
Bittersweet sitting here right now because I just had my final March break trip. You know, the run of the kids being young is coming to an end for me. I'm having a tough time with it right now. You know, I thought the other stuff that we're going to talk about later will make me cry, but right now, yeah, I've got an 18-year-old in first year. He's going to be 19 in May. Chris, he's wonderful. And Nikki, the powerhouse, is going to cheerleading world championships for the second time next month.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, man. So but it's really tough to sit here and say, hey, this thing that I care about so much, that has been my whole life for 18 years now, is transitioning into this other thing where they're not really around anymore, and I have to find some other stuff to do with my time. And so, who am I going to be going forward? You know,
September, you're going to be an empty nester.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Roller coaster,
Oof,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
What about, speaking of roller coasters, so Chris, you and I, we've got to play golf a few times, and Chris is a great golfer. So tell me about the roller coaster of emotions when you have a 17-year-old son who's better than you at golf. What does that,
yeah.
what does that feel like?
Oh yeah.
I totally thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Oh, the pride, you know, like it's so true that you want your kids to do better than you. I would love.
Except at golf.
Yeah.
My drive went a little further. Thank you very much. Yeah. But for sure, yeah. Yeah, all the things, wanting your kids to do well, wanting them to succeed, wanting them to do better than you. Check. I love all that stuff. I want to see Chris hit the longer drive than me and hit the home run further than me and everything. And Nikki is, already better than me. I've not been to a world championships before and anything. And she's going to her second. So she just blows my mind constantly with her discipline and capabilities. Like, God, she's going to go.
That's going to be an
she's
emotional
gonna go
roller coaster
places.
for you, too, when you're at
Yeah.
that. Knowing it's her last big
Yeah, she's been
hurrah.
competitive cheerleading this is her 11th season. She started when she was 6. And, again, like that's something I've been doing for so long. And so that trip to Disney in a couple of weeks now is, oof, this is the last one. They say, like, you never know it's the last time that you pick up your child, or you never know it's the last time that they will come running for a hug, things like that. I am going to know that this is the last time that I'm going to watch my daughter doing this.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. Well, fellow cheer dad, as you know. So
Yeah.
It's fun to watch them, and it is certainly, I mean, that's the goal, right? Raise them a bit better,
Yeah.
a bit stronger, bit better foundation.
sure.
Like
Yeah.
that's the goal, right? Tell me about your foundation. Go back to when you were a kid. What's your family dynamic?
Yeah, my family dynamic, some complaints, some great things. My parents didn't get along all that well. They had my sister Kath kind of before they were ready to have kids. They had my sister Kim a little bit further along. They had me, Kath, my oldest sister, myself, both seemed to be whoopsies, and Kim was maybe the one that my parents were ready to have. But my dad was a lawyer. He worked the lawyer hours and provided like a champion, right? So my upbringing, dad wasn't around too much, and can't really get into that, as a matter of fact. I'm around in my kids' lives, especially the fact that I was divorced 11 years ago. I am a very present divorcee father compared to the norm. That's what I can tell you, right? Like, each of my kids have close friends whose parents have been broken up, and the dad's nowhere to be found. That wasn't going to be me, right? And I see examples of parents broken up where the dad of the equation, his father wasn't around, and the dad says, "Hey, that's not going to be me." My parents were together just about until the end of my dad's life. And so I don't have any of that in my past. My parents were generally together for my upbringing, but I pride myself in being the most present father I can name for my kids, for the fact that their mom and I broke up when they were pretty young.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But going back to my upbringing, good upper middle class experiences, but not so much on the family love thing. So I would trade having a pool and a nice car to drive for the family getting along every time. Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't understand. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What's can you tell us about dad?
Loved my dad. Oh my God. He was a bankruptcy insolvency corporate real estate lawyer in Toronto for just shy of 50 years. He was a powerhouse until he wasn't, but we'll get into that later. But he loved his kids. He loved his family. He loved playing the supportive, energizing, loving, providing, awesome dad. He was amazing at that for a long, long time. And as he was approaching 70 years old, some health problems sort of took him out. And he had a really rough final, long 10, 11 years of his life. Yeah, but my dad taught me some awesome stuff. He taught me to love my kids. He loved the crap out of me. He supported me. I was, I was an athlete in my teens. I was a flatwater canoe racing guy. It's a bit of an obscure sport. Most people haven't even heard of it, but it's an Olympic sport. We've had Olympic champions in Canada from this. And I did that in my teens. I was in wicked shape. I worked out 14, 15 times a week. Went to Canadian championships a couple of times.
Kind of sounds like our last 6 months.
Yeah,
Making the
much.
Canadian championship,
Yeah.
working out 14, 15, 16
if I don't get
times a week.
16 in, I feel lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in pairs of shape. We're in great shape.
Yeah.
Rounds of shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a cool thing to do in my teens. I mean, I would be in Ottawa or Welland or Montreal or something every weekend in the summer at a regatta, at a race, right? We would get in the car and go, stay in a hotel room for a couple of nights. I'd do my races. My sister Kim was in on it as well. The two of us were doing it. That has translated out into, Chris, my son, who was a rep ball player, my daughter Nikki with her cheerleading that we talked about. Like, I love this stuff. I learned that from my dad, right? Let's get in the car. Let's go to this thing. Let's get in a hotel. Let's have you compete. Like, this stuff is awesome. This leads to the lifelong memories. Like,
this is what being a dad's all about.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Allowing for those experiences, like providing to the point that they're going to be able to do this, right? And giving them, instilling in them the belief that you can achieve and exceed, right? Like, get out there, go to your workouts, be passionate about this. You've found something that you like, do it, right? You have all the opportunity to take this as far as you can.
Yeah.
As far as Dad Matt is concerned, right? Let's go for it. Yeah.
So how did you do at this regatta? Like how was this?
I made national champion.
Yeah.
3 times over. And so I peaked at 17. Yeah.
There's some people that don't really peak though, so take it as a win,
Yeah,
bro.
sure.
And then stay competitive.
We've taken a peek. Like, we'll take a peek.
And then stay competitive too, right? Like you and I still play sports. I know you, I'll flex for you. You won the home run derby at a recent softball tournament, which, and shout out Steve Bork too, if Steve's listening.
Totally.
He puts on a great show.
He does, yeah.
He puts on a tournament every summer, raises money for food bank, and gets,
which we love doing.
yeah. I was just looking at a photo of that the other day. He probably gets 100 guys together to play baseball, and it's fun to still stay active too. What else do you do to stay active?
I do a lot of Stairmaster because I do like to eat and drink after all. I came to this stark realization not long ago that in your 40s, if you want to eat food and you don't want to be unlimited weight, then you have to work out. And it's a good thing to do. Just the doctor says you have to work out if you want to be healthy, so let's do that. And let's lift a few weights. I play guitar. Love my guitar playing. I got into that. Another thing my dad taught me, which is love good music, love rock music. He got me into Elton John. I got him into Aerosmith, and I started playing guitar in 13. And I'm okay at it. I'm combine my voice and a guitar playing, and I can be a good front man in a band. And I've done okay at that, but it's fun. Like
Maddie in the deep cuts. Everybody. Maddie in the deep cuts.
That's it.
If you want him to play for you.
Yeah. I actually started with a Johnny Cash impersonation little act about 10 years ago, where I hear the train a coming, it's rolling around the bend. I can get down there, right? So I did a Johnny Cash, and I found there wasn't a very big market for that. So I just branched into doing just covers. All right, let's just play covers that people want to hear.
Really good, but nobody fucking wanted to listen.
Yeah, you know what?
It's weird like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our podcast, bro. So that's cool, man. And then, so as we always ask this question about, obviously you've got a great relationship with your kiddos.
Yeah.
What are the things you think the kids would say about you?
Each of them would say different things, I think. Yeah. Chris and I, he would say, I'm awesome. He would say, I'm a great dad. He would say, it's super fun to hang around and do stuff. It's fun to go places. One of my best experiences as a father was a couple of years ago. He and I went to a Metallica concert in Buffalo, New York. And at the concert, towards the end, he said to me, I wouldn't have wanted to be here with anyone else. And that's it. I was gone, right? I was done. Like, my father wouldn't have gone to a Metallica concert with me. Like, he was wary of me liking music like that when I was in my teens. But so here's my son, wants to go with me. Like, All right, this is cool. So Chris will say, I'm amazing. He wants to follow in my footsteps with a career, which is great. I've got something set up for him to jump right into. And, it's available to Nikki too, but and if she's not interested, she's not interested, no problem. But yeah, he'll say I'm cool and I'm fun and I'm supportive. Nikki will say this, exact same thing. As I've told you, I'm here for my kids. She might not necessarily say I'm cool and fun, but she will say I'm supportive and I'm always there. She's watched the Twilight movies, right? Everybody's watched the Twilight movies, and I said to her, I'm the Bella's dad, right? Loves the crap out of her, but also knows his place and knows when to just sort of be at bay, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can have a relationship with my son where we have the common interests, and that's going to be cool. And with my daughter, not necessarily common interests, but all the massive support and love. And I even said that to her not too long ago. I said, you and I'm like Bella's dad with you. I'll always do everything for you, and I love the crap out of you. And I'm sort of, just sort of here.
Just let her do her thing.
Yeah, let her do her thing. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And she didn't really say anything in response, but I think she agreed. She was like, yeah. So that's a good thing. I take that as a super positive thing. Yeah, if you can have any kind of relationship with your kids where they will look upon you and say, yeah, I give you a check mark. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
The goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes a smile and nod from a teenager is about as communicative as you're going to get. So that's feedback. That counts. So other topics that we tend to talk about, Ben, mental health. Tell me a little bit about how you approach your mental health, what you might teach your kids, any experiences with mental health?
Lots of experiences with mental health, man. A roller coaster ride for my whole life, as everybody tends to have. I wasn't so happy young when my household, my parents didn't like each other, kind of thing. Lots of those households around, so I was kind of an unhappy kid. Started to come out of my shell when I hit puberty. Grew. I was doing that, working out. I was a muscular 15, 16-year-old and starting to get popular at school, so that was cool. And my 20s, everything's fine. I started a family. In my 30s, my kids are growing up. In my 40s, I really started to figure life out a little bit. I started to pay attention to things like cause and effect and the law of attraction and the focusing on giving and karma, which totally drives my whole life now, today. So that's something I got into. One of my business mentors told me to read the book Think and Grow Rich. And I did. Very glad I did. And then I just took that on a whole journey. Some of the tough times in my life. I've talked a little bit about my father and how he was a utter rock star. He was the man. He was in he was in the Toronto Star with the deals he was doing when he was in his heyday, when he was in his powerhouse days. But then physical pain, man, not good. It can ruin a life. So that's what happened with my dad. And when he was just shy of 70 years old, he had just a sudden onset of some bad hip pain. And then that started spreading over to his back, and he had many surgeries, and he tried this, tried that, and tried the other. And he ultimately spent the final couple of years of his life consisted of red wine, oxy, and sleeping pills. And
just to numb the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he killed himself. And I kind of look at that as that happened on my watch, for as much as my therapist has said, that wasn't on you. You didn't do that. Obviously, you didn't choose for him to have this pain problem. You didn't choose for him to, find ways to compensate. That happened on Labor Day of 2021. Not that far in the rearview mirror. And I spent, after that happened, it was a good 6 months of me being completely useless at everything. And I started to pull myself out of that. And I was kind of getting on towards my own life, sort of slipping off the tracks, and don't know where I'd be today. But I had some good support and got into Reiki, which really helped, just as an aside. But one thing my dad taught me, don't fucking kill yourself. I have a bit of a weight on my shoulders to be not the third Stevenson family dad in a row to jump to your death. That's a little bit of something.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. That day, the last time I saw my dad was good. The last time I spoke to my dad, not good. There were some shitty circumstances in there. And, the liquor store was closed because it was Labor Day and he was calling me. Can you come over with booze? No, Dad, I'm not going to do that. The conversation went, liquor store was closed. I'm not going to bring you booze. I can't help you with this, Dad. And he said, well, if you can't help me with this, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I had made the hard line, tough love decision to not help him with this, right? And so I said, all right. If you're saying what I think you're saying, all right. Phone hung up. I called 911, said, my father is going to take his own life. Not long later, I get a call from the police. We know what they told me. Somehow I had the wherewithal to say, why are you calling me on my cell phone? How did you have my number? From when you called to say he was going to kill himself. So you're telling me my call to you saying he's going to do this is how you have my number to call me to tell me he did it. I refer to that as the swift kick to the groin to end all swift kicks to the groin.
Yeah, it's a hard nut to swallow. But you weren't the one that made that decision for him.
No.
You were trying to give him the hard love to get him to come off of doing that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It was COVID. I couldn't go. I couldn't go. I knew I was going to have an ambulance go pick him up and everything, but it was still at the point where you couldn't go to the hospital yourself. So many things were wrong about how everything went down that day. And it's one of those things where his life was over, if you know what I mean. He was quickly running out of cash. His day consisted of not being coherent on too many pills.
He wasn't happy either.
He wasn't. There was no quality of life whatsoever. None whatsoever. Yeah, and that was a tough one. Yeah. So his father, as I say, had an alcohol problem, and this is gross stuff. But my grandfather, who I never met, had an alcohol problem, and on the day he was supposed to come home from rehab, he decided to jump out the window instead, and that happened when my father was 30, and this happened with me when I was 45 or whatever it was. So now, so I have this goal to live the rest of my life in good health, and I'm pretty much doing the things I need to do that, because I don't want to be the next guy along to end up in circumstances where, okay, I can't handle this anymore, and I guess I'm just the next guy to,
well, and
finish things
you're
off
surrounding
this way.
yourself with people that
Yeah.
take care of each other as well.
Yeah.
Right? You've got a band of brothers that
Yep.
your dad didn't have around him at that point.
He didn't. Yeah.
And you've got that. You've built that.
Yep.
For yourself, and that's a big thing for people's mental health. Whether it's
Mhm.
whether it's males, females, it's having those 4 or 5 people that
For sure. Yeah.
those are your support system. No matter
Yep.
what you're going through,
Yep.
you need that, because it's going to prevent shit like that from happening.
Totally. Yeah. 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 So that experience, my life could have gone either way at that point. Yeah, when other people lose their parents, I always say to them, as trying to help, I say, remember that your parents going before you was the plan, right? So it's going to be a terrible thing. We're going to have to deal with it, but go on with your life. They're up there wanting you to go on with your life. So let's go, right? Keep being successful. Keep being good. Keep improving yourself. leave this life in a better station than which you entered, like for God's sakes. But then when their death happens kind of the way my dad's did, it's like, okay, this wasn't the plan, right? So let's work on a little bit what we're going to have to do to be able to move on. Yeah. So I know a little bit about mental health and how you can go down a bad road and what you have to do to get yourself back onto a good track.
And the great person you were before that happened is a very different person than the amazing person you've become since that. Like everything that you've done in your life since that point has been for everybody else.
Yeah.
As much as it's been for yourself to help you mentally.
Yeah.
You've done a ton for everybody else over the last 5 years.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I say, when I got into my 40s, karma, cause and effect, law of attraction, this is what my life is about now. Like I've seen enough times that if you focus on giving to this world, this is my great piece of advice to anyone, my kids for sure. I tell this to them constantly. If you focus on giving to this world, then this world will focus on giving to you. If you focus on taking from this world will focus on taking from you. So which are you going to do? Right?
Yeah.
I focus on giving to this world. If I want to have what I want to have, then it's going to come to me if I focus on spreading the love to others. It may sound cheesy, but it's so fucking true.
And you live and breathe it. Like my kids see you as Uncle Matt. You come to our house, they run up and give you a hug.
Yeah.
Every time you leave, they want to give you a hug and a kiss. And you come over and play board games with them and bingo. And like you're just such an inspirational
person.
That was my true
calling, was a bingo announcer.
There's still time.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't peak at 17. Yeah.
It's coming up, man. Yeah, that is it.
Yeah. But you could have made the choice to let it take over your life and compound things mentally. And you didn't. You chose to go to go the other path and to make a difference.
And it was really, shit my dad taught me was to be the powerhouse guy who does things for his family, right? So if I didn't have kids, and that's what happened with my dad, not sure where I'd be today. But ultimately, I'm not finished with my responsibilities. I'm never going to be finished with my responsibilities. So pulled myself out and pulled up my socks and kept going. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of things in there that you found helpful. You said Reiki was one of them.
Yeah.
What is that? I'm not
familiar. Yeah, Reiki is about a 100-year-old Japanese energy healing system. It's one of these things that can be really like woo-woo or weird or like, okay, whatever, bro, that I don't believe in that shit. But just like, the sun rises every day, this is the fact that everything is energy, right? We'll all agree that a human being is energy, thoughts are energy, the universe is energy, and all this. So Reiki is just simply a practice where you will, the Reiki practitioner will use themselves as a conduit to channel life force and universal energy in and out of another person for that person's benefit. It can be used to help someone with their emotional problems. It can be used to help someone with their physical problems. I had emotional problems, we'll say. So that was, the bad day was Labor Day 2021. So right at the beginning of 2022, I just started searching. I'd known of Reiki. I knew what it was. I didn't really know much about it. And I thought, I need something. I'm going to try anything here. So let's check out Reiki. And I just Googled it. I came up with Let It Go with Reiki. I thought, okay, there's something I need to let go here. This is the one so I contacted a lovely woman named Calla Brooks here local in Burlington who runs Let It Go with Reiki. I wanted to become a practitioner of it, use it as a healing mechanism for myself. So I got into that. And I have had some really fucking trippy experiences while receiving Reiki. Really cool stuff.
Did like mushrooms come hand in hand with Reiki? Like
pretty much
is it part of Japanese mushrooms?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like if a session is an hour long, then at about the 40-minute mark, I'm having conversations with people that aren't there. I'm feeling physical touch from people that aren't there. I'm hearing, singing that isn't there. Like one good example is there's always like the kind of music in the background, right? Just the relaxing Zen kind of music playing in the background. And then on one occasion, a Disney song came on. It was like A Whole New World, I think it was. And and at the end of the session, and it's just this beautiful woman singing voice, singing A Whole New World and everything. And so Calla said to me, wow, it was so weird that a Disney song came on. And I said, yeah, the singing was beautiful. And she goes, singing? Yeah. Oh, no. So there was no singing. I was just hearing it in my head, but I was hearing that singing the same as I can hear your voice in these headphones right now. It was super cool. Yeah. And it really works as an emotional cleansing, as an energy cleansing, and setting yourself out to feel good and have a really calm mind, right? Because we all have really busy minds, right? Which is another thing that we all need to work on. But I will come out of a Reiki session not feeling the like, oh, God damn it, that person didn't answer my email yet. And oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot to get groceries. And all this stuff is gone from your head once you receive Reiki. And as long as you can keep that mentality of this totally cool, calm.
So then do you just start walking down the street and woo, saw.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Reiki's really cool. I wouldn't be in as good of shape right now if not for that.
Do you still practice it like weekly or monthly or like?
I still receive Reiki every now and then. For a while, I was receiving it weekly, like 2022 into 2023, and I've gotten away from it just simply because I feel better, right? And I'm sort of back in charge of myself. And but it's just an amazing thing to do. That anyone who's having emotional problems or physical problems, as I say, like I actually cured someone's trigger finger using Reiki myself once, which was kind of cool. And like the person that I did that for, like, didn't know anything about it, didn't know what I was about to do, and I just went like this with my hands over her finger, and her finger was shaking like this, like in a manner that you can't choose to do. And she's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And then all of a sudden, her finger sort of straightened out. Okay, so this stuff is real. Yeah, may seem weird, may sound woo-woo, but don't discount it.
I think there's so many paths to wellness. One of the things and the reason why we ask mental health journey is because I don't think it's one size fits all. I think there's many ways to heal. I think there's things that we can do to better ourselves. And if you don't know, you don't know. Like you learn something every day, right? So you also mentioned speaking to somebody, a psychiatrist, I assume.
Therapist,
so, tell me about that.
Yeah. I started that in 2018 after I'm twice divorced, and after my second breakup, I got into therapy and learned a lot about why everybody does everything that they do, and a lot of it is driven by repeating patterns that we've recognized in our parents. Right? A lot of the time we do stuff to please our parents. A lot of the time we do stuff that we learned as a habit from our parents. And a lot of the relationships we end up in are because of what we've been exposed to as an example. And one thing I've learned is you've got to go with what you want rather than what you're used to. You got to go with what you want rather than maybe a pattern or whatever your parents did or whatever you've
been programmed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or whatever they want for you. So therapy was really good. It's something that I've gotten away from because I learned so much from it, and I feel like I'm in a decent place. And these things that I have used to, get myself from where I was to where I am, that was definitely one of them. Going to a therapist has that stigma. Maybe not so much anymore, but I am very, shoulders held high, able to say, oh yeah, I went to therapy again once a month for a couple of years in there. For sure. Very happy I did it. I would always tell everyone, if there's something you need to work on, go. God, don't feel the stigma.
Yeah. And then that learning side of things, because I know you're a guy who likes to try and continually better themselves.
Yeah.
The one story I have that I think is awesome is you came by my office one day with a book and you said, I know you're busy, but bro, just read this chapter. And you had it, dog-eared and on my desk.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Tell me about reading, learning, continually
For
bettering
sure.
yourself.
This was the Captain Underpants.
Yeah,
book?
it was a great comic. It was.
No, it was something we can't mention on the podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Just watch.
There weren't
between
very
minute
many words in this
234.
book.
Yeah, that's right.
It was one of the Dogman books, wasn't it? Yeah.
He knows I like pictures.
Yeah. That book was. I mentioned that a business mentor of mine said, "Read, Think, and Grow Rich." Turns out, Think and Grow Rich was the sort of the Coal Notes version of a bigger book called The Law of Success. And the lesson that I wanted you to read was called The Mastermind Alliance. And that basically says that if Matt Stevenson has a goal and he's thinking about it, then he's got a certain amount of energy going into the universe, out into the ether, as they say, to get that to happen. But if Matt Stevenson and Chris Carter are thinking about Matt Stevenson's goal, the amplification of that just went up double, right? So that's what we need. So that's the lesson there. If you have an army of people who believe in you and like you and are invested in you achieving your own goal, then you're going to achieve that goal. Yeah, and of course, how do you get someone to be invested in you, to want you to achieve your goals? As I've already said, focus on giving. I give to people. I am here to do for you what I can do for you. I'm here to do this for you.
Fuck, I was going to say shots.
Let's do a shot. Yeah. I'm here to do shots with you.
Can be all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
And the
We've
idea
had
that
some good therapy sessions over shots.
We have,
many ways to wellness.
Yeah, we had 3 therapists, Jim, Jack, and Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other side of that you touched on, which is another way to kind of build that success, is that manifesting piece, that having the clear visual and then putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
For sure. Yeah. When you have identified something that you want, right? You've decided on a goal, if it's for a relationship, if it's for money, if it's for something material, if it's for a capability to do something that you can't do, then if you think about in present tense about what you want, then that's how you do it, right? To manifest something into your life, you have to feel like you already have it, right? So it always comes down to relationships and money are the two main problems that people seem to have. So if I don't have the relationship I want, if I'm sitting around feeling really sad about being single and I'm on the couch again tonight, then that's going to go on for a long time. You're not going to find your person. But if you're sitting there on that couch, that person makes me feel so good, and then she's going to show up in your life, right? And so that's relationships. And money, if the wallet is tight and you got to think about whether or not you're going out for dinner, you got to think about where the groceries are going to come from next week, then it's the hardest thing in the world to do, this kind of mentality. But if you can sit there knowing that the groceries are going to be paid for, then they're going to be paid for, right? Henry Ford, I think it was, that said, whether believe you can't or you believe you can, you are correct, right? So if you're sitting here thinking about abundance, then things are going to be abundance. If you're sitting here thinking about lack, you're going to be lacking, right? That's the way it works. So to manifest things into your life, you need to think about what you want in present tense. That's the lesson. Yeah, and it's so easy for people to spend all of their time frustrated about just being distracted. Like I said, I forgot to get the groceries. God damn it, that person didn't call me back. Throw all that aside and just say, here, this is what I'm focused on. This is what I want. Okay, I want this and that and the other, the money, the relationship, the status, whatever it is. Go for it. We live in an abundant universe, right? There is more than enough out there for everyone. Go ahead and have it. The best philosophers, the new thought philosophers, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Tony Robbins' book right there, he's a good one. They all say, like, hey, it's all out there. Go ahead and have it. Don't feel guilty for it either, right? If you're telling me that I can have an abundant life or I can have a life of lack and frustration, I'm supposed to feel guilty for having an abundant life? Hell no. Drive the nice car.
You want something, go make it happen. If
Yeah.
you're going to have the poor me mentality,
Yeah.
you're going to be poor me for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
If you want
absolutely.
something, you got to make it fucking happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that thoughts become things, right?
Yep.
Like to quote Tony
Exactly.
Robbins, I hope I'm saying it right, but where focus goes, energy flows,
Yep.
right? That is it. So if you're focused on the negative,
Yep.
that's where all that energy is going to go, and that's what you're going to receive too, right?
Yep.
So it's a cycle, man. And
Yeah.
you know, again, when we have those challenges in life, like that's a moment where it's not easy, but you do get to decide. You do get to translate what you're feeling into whatever you want it to be.
Right.
And you know, we talk about the energy and the kindness you put into the world, the volunteerism you put into the world, the support you put into the world. Every single time I've done any of that, it comes back in spades.
Always. Yeah.
And I think that's something that we could all do better of. I'm still trying to up my game.
I think it's all bullshit. I've wanted to be 6 foot ever since I was born.
The Tesla truck over here, right? With the
I fucking do everything I can to make it happen, and I went from 5'9" to 5'9.5" because I'm wearing big, thicker shoes.
well, you saw it in your mind. You saw yourself as being how tall? Like 5'8" was what you were hoping for. And then you go buy the shoes. That's the metaphor for the day. I want to talk about your professional life too, because you've been crushing it. So obviously ChatGPT talked a little bit about it, but how would you introduce yourself? How would you introduce what you do? Like, tell us about your work.
Yeah. What I do, it's a really specialized niche sort of thing that I've found my way into. And it's a career that I'm extremely pleased with, that I have a lot of motivation for, that I have a lot of passion for. You know, it checks all of the dream boxes, right? Like I get to work at a pace that works for me, and the bills are paid. I get to do what I want to do, and I'm doing something that is really beneficial for the people that I'm doing it for. And ultimately, not to get too political, but a lot of Canadians are upset about how much tax they owe. A lot of business owners are extremely upset about how much of their work and blood, sweat, and tears and risk ends up going into government coffers, of which where it's questionable the validity of how much gets taken and what it's going to get spent on. So my focus is basically for an incorporated business owner who's upset about how much tax they're paying, we can do stuff about that for you while you're alive, and especially once you're gone. Now, something my dad taught me was financially, be prepared to die. So when you go, your family's not going to have a problem. I believe in the mantra of being worth more when you're gone than you are when you're alive. Like, why not? Right? You know, the way it happened with my dad was after this illustrious 49-year career as a lawyer in Toronto, you would have thought that I would have inherited $5 million. Well, my mom inherited a bit of cash, a bit of debt, and
you got a couple bills and a car you had to repaint.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So my dad didn't have life insurance. It had lapsed a couple of years previous in his troubles. So I'm rammed to the gills with life insurance, and when I go, things are going to be fine for my family. And that's one of the things that I do professionally. And yeah, the main thing that I do professionally is bring awareness to the business owner about things they've never heard of before, processes to reduce tax bills. And again, like, you earned this. You put in the work. You had the idea. You got it to happen. It's all about making shit happen, right? So you got this to happen. You deserve to have your freaking money. So let's have that be the way it is.
And for a lot of guys that get involved in those policies, it's also, you know, even previous to them dying, it's, hey, like, if you take care of doing this now and dealing with the situation now, you'll be able to pay yourself, and you could probably retire earlier and not have to depend on, you know, a pension plan and all that other shit. Like, what you do is set people up that they could retire early if they want to, and be paying themselves from these policies as well.
Totally, yeah. Because a key in retirement is to have fresh cash, right? Like, if I'm not going to work anymore, my paycheck isn't going to show up anymore, but there needs to be more fresh cash. There needs to be fresh cash forever, coming in always. Yeah. And that's one of the things the policies does as well that usually people don't know about. Once I explain to a person, here's what I'd like to do with you. You know, I'll sit with someone, they'll tell me their goals and intentions. They'll tell me their financial landscape. I'll say, all right, here's what we can do. Here's what you have to do. Here's what you'll get back for it. And usually the response is this is too good to be true. Why haven't I heard about this before? I wish I'd done this 10 years ago, and all these sorts of things.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy how smart all these people are that own businesses that are anywhere from like $1 to $50 million.
Yeah.
Super good at what they do. And a lot of them are professional corps. Like a lot of them aren't even like other entrepreneurial businesses. A lot of them are professional corps, for whether they're doctors, they're therapists,
Yep.
they're dentists, whatever. Like they're really good at what they do, but they really don't know what they're not doing.
Totally. Yeah.
And then when you bring that to them, they're just like, wow. Right?
Yep. Answer. Yeah. It answers questions that they didn't know they needed to ask, and it solves problems that they know they have, but they don't know how to solve. Right now in March of 2025, it's bad for the markets right now, and a policy has a 6% non-taxable yield in an investment class that's as risky as cash. You tell me.
For
It's
sure.
worth a look.
Yeah, they're not just to save taxes, and they're not just, to help you with capital gains later on. They're also an investment vehicle, right? They're a long-term
Totally.
investment vehicle that
Yeah.
is as safe as it gets
Yep.
with a decent return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's the awareness piece too.
It is.
Like anytime I've been to a few of your presentations and obviously follow along with your career. I think it's just a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Think about legacy. How many people go their whole life without saying, "Okay, I'm going to have some conscious thought around legacy."
Yeah.
What happens after?
Yeah, a lot of people, they're like, oh, like I built a business and my business is going to be worth $10 million. And when I die, my kids will get it and be able to take it over. And there's going to be a great legacy. And what they don't know is like 80% of that business is probably going to disappear.
Mhm.
And the kids are going to end up with 20% of it.
Yep.
And do or don't they know how to run that business? Who knows? But like you
Yep.
didn't really leave them much of a legacy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Getting back to shit my dad taught me. I mean, as I say, you got to be ready to die. You got to be ready to pass all of this on. The earlier you look after it, the better it's going to work out for you and for your beneficiaries, for your family. Right? Yeah. I love the work I do, and bonus that it teaches me how to solve a problem that, we're always teaching our kids with the lessons that living our own lives, right? We can show our kids what to do, or we can show our kids what not to do. I've talked about the stuff my dad did that was awesome, right? When I was growing up, supporting me with my sports and providing a wonderful lifestyle, all that stuff was great. That was him teaching me something to do. Be supportive of your kids. Go to the events. Love the events. You're going to love the events. Be there for that. Support it. One thing my dad taught me not to do is die broke. Yeah, and not pass anything on. Yeah, like I as I said, I want to leave this world in a better station than I entered, and I want my kids to have the opportunity to do that as well. Yeah.
Looking forward a little bit, what's on that roadmap for you? What can we expect? What's the fun stuff,
Well,
professional stuff?
Yeah, I'm an empty nester in a couple of months. My kids are adults now, and I love that, and I'm going to miss them being kids. But now the job of being a father never ends, right? Now it's going to be something else. I'm providing. I feel such pride in the fact that I'm providing a career conduit for both of my kids. One or two of them might end up taking me up on it, which is cool. So a really cool thing that I see every now and then in my professional travels. I'll see a parent who has an investment business or an insurance business or something, and their 55 and their 25-year-old is there with them in the office. I'm just embarking upon that, and I'm super excited about that. Yeah, so Chris is going to come home from his first year and have a summer job. It's going to be working for me, learning the business as well as doing some marketing stuff. He and I are both totally chuffed for it, so that's cool.
Love that.
That's a cool thing that's on the horizon. And but now maybe I'll get to play more golf.
Play the guitar a little bit
Play
more.
the guitar a little bit more, play golf a little bit more. I'm getting married for the third time. Hey, no judgment, please. But, life is funny. Life is a roller coaster. But I'm with a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful girl named Robin who constantly lets me know that she likes what I do, and she likes me, and she's here for me. I never have to doubt that for a second. Right? I think that's the best thing you can find in a relationship is someone, no matter what's going on through the ups and downs, I love you. You're awesome. That's the kind of person you want in your life. And that's what I've got with this girl. I'm very fortunate.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's this summer?
That's this summer. Yeah. 3 months today in this.
Big party.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you want to share about your business? Anything you want to plug?
I want to plug cars.
Okay.
Shit my dad taught me. Cars are cool. And holy fuck, are cars ever cool. Yeah. He owned one non-American car. And it's funny, he probably owned 40 cars, maybe 50 in his lifetime. And one of them was not American. It was a car that I own today. It was a 2010 Audi A5 Cabriolet that he bought when he was 70. It was brown on brown. And when he passed away, I inherited it. And Dad, I love you, but I'm not driving a brown car. So I had my friend paint it blue, and it looks pretty sharp now. But yeah, when your parents pass away, you're going to want to hold on to something of theirs. I didn't want to hold on to his canes because that's just a painful reminder. And I've got his CDs, and I've got his car, this super cool car. So my parents had a condo in Fort Myers and a golf club membership down there in the early 2010s into the mid 2010s. And this car that I have today is the car that my father bought new, and I drove to Fort Myers every fall as my annual pilgrimage in October to send it down to Florida for the winter for them. And love having that thing today. As I'm accumulating assets and feeling cool about some collections of things I have, that car is never leaving my family. Yeah, that's a good thing to have. And he said the best car that he ever owned was his 1992 Chevrolet Corvette that he bought in the mid-90s. So this was in that heyday when he was working hard and putting in the lawyer hours and making big money and providing a nice lifestyle. Just one cool thing he did. I was at Western University, Kim and I, my sister. It was Thanksgiving weekend, 1997. I'm home for Thanksgiving. He says to me, this is back, internet was in its infancy, and it was the Auto Trader magazine still. So he says, go get the Auto Trader magazine, flag every manual convertible Corvette in the Auto Trader magazine, and we'll go check it out. Okay. So I flagged 3. One of them was like way out in Richmond Hill, but this was the best looking one. So we drove out to Richmond Hill and saw the car. It was awesome. Green on tan, super cool thing. And private owner selling it. The C5 with Corvette was just coming out. This was a C4. He was unloading it. Enthusiast. The car was dead mint. 40,000 kilometers on it. And thanks very much. Okay, yeah, see you later. We left. And we had Thanksgiving dinner. I went back to London, to Western. 2 nights later, my phone rings. He says, it's my dad. He says, go out in the driveway. There's my dad in the Corvette. He bought it. Didn't tell me. Surprised me with it a couple days later. That's how fucking cool my dad was.
That's awesome.
Right? So when he passed away, I had some of the records. I had the VIN and everything. I tried to find the car. When he sold it a little while later, it went to Alberta. Couldn't find it. So I basically got myself the exact facsimile just to, as one of the things I did to kind of crutch myself with the emotions. I made a bit of a bit of a purchase. And I've got that now, and I've got it done up the way I want it. And once again, these things are never leaving family hands now that they're here. My dad's car, the Audi, the wicked thing that my pilgrimage to Fort Myers every year, this cool 1993 neoclassic Corvette that, my kids are going to have some cool shit.
Yeah.
Along with a few bucks when I'm gone. So that's good.
And damn, does it sound good now.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like one of those in memoriams that we should bring back.
Yeah.
Dream Car Garage.
Okay,
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so on the first few episodes, you've probably heard it. We did Dream Car Garage. So we're just, we're still fucking learning. Let's be clear. We don't know what we're doing. But one of the things we thought is because we're car guys, right?
Yep.
You're a car guy.
Yep.
So the questions we had for our guests is you get to choose 3 cars in your Dream Car Garage, okay?
Yep.
You've got the winter beater, you've got the daily, and you've got the flex.
Yeah.
So what would those three be? What would you have for a winter beater?
Winter beater is going to be, do I get to flex and say it's the car I have?
Whatever.
Sure.
And this is your game, man.
Dream car garage.
Yep. I've got an Audi S6 Quattro with a hell of a powerful twin turbo V8.
Sounds like the perfect winter
Yeah, great
vehicle.
winter car. Yeah. Audi enthusiasts would say so. They'd be talking about Quattro all day.
Yeah. My winter beater is a very practical four-door, four-wheel drive, loaded with snow tires, space for the family, luggage, you name it.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Yep.
The daily?
The daily is going to be something a little more fun. The daily would be like my ideal dream car garage would be a Jeep. Yeah, let's have some. That's cool year round, as long as it's not your only car. A Jeep is rough to have as your only car, as a friend of ours might be finding out right now. But yeah, Jeep's a cool car. It's fun year round. Take the doors off in the summer. Have a convertible when you want a convertible, and when you're just tooling around town, day, night, summer, winter, you're good.
And then the flex, I know of two cars, and you got to choose one. So which one are you going to say?
Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah, it's the Diablo.
Yeah, I like my 80s, 90s, the Neo Classic. That was one of the reasons I love my Corvette so much. It's that 80s, 90s. I've been binge watching X-Files, which was filmed in the beginning of the 90s. And I swear those, like, 1991 Ford Tauruses drive by, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. Yeah.
The Taurus SHO ones.
Yeah.
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 They were dope.
Yeah.
Fun fact, producer of the X-Files name.
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Yeah, but that Diablo, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one you were going to say? You've got a Porsche that I know you idolize. What it's
the race car.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Porsche 917K.
917K.
Yeah. One was just at auction. Jerry Seinfeld still owns a 917, the one that was used in the Le Mans movie, Steve McQueen.
Wasn't he offered like a ridiculous number?
25 million.
Yeah. And he said no to it.
No, yep.
Like, what was he expecting? Like, because he put it on the auction. So if you're doing that, it's under the assumption that for the right number, I'll sell this. Like, what is his right number, do you think? If
God knows.
25 million wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? I guess he had a number in mind, but that didn't get the job done.
There's been some wild prices, though, man. You watch Barrett and things like that, wild prices.
Yeah.
Also some deals, though, too, especially if you're into that 80s, 90s vibe. Like, I've watched a few, like, Fox Body Mustangs go through there where I'm like, oh, I'd have that.
Oh, there's some trucks on the road right now that you can get some great deals on.
Jamie's selling a Cybertruck.
Yep, our friend's selling a Jeep.
Yeah. Shout out Wadham. Selling a Jeep. Will trade. OBO. Yeah, that's great, man. Want to do another segment? We always ask dad joke. Did you bring a dad joke for us?
I did, yeah. So where do pirates get their hooks?
Where do pirates get their hooks?
Yeah. The second-hand store.
Hey-o. They have a hook on their second hand. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there you go. Eh?
This hockey season, pick up something to celebrate the puck drop. Grab Wolf Blast Yellow Label Cabernet Sauvignon, now only $17.95 at the LCBO. Why settle when you can soar? Wolf Blast Yellow Label.
It's good times.
Yeah. What? Anything else you want to plug, Natty?
I think I'm good.
What are you doing with your time outside of work right now? Like, what do you put your time into and your investment vehicle into mentally and?
Yeah, right now my time's into my upcoming marriage. I rehearse with my band once a week, which is super cool. Play as much golf as I can, and looking forward to having an employee this summer.
Oh, and you're a huge piece of the Burlington dads.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. We haven't talked about the dads. That is the really wonderful thing in my life that allows me to do everything I want to do as far as giving. Right, like what a perfect thing that the Burlington Dads Group, which has 6,500 guys in it, is going to have every kind of guy in it. Guys I can look up to. Hello. Guys that I can help. Perfect. Right? So we've got, this is March right now as we're recording this. In June, bit of a busy month for me. We're going to be doing the family barbecue for the third time, which is going to be super cool.
Yeah, and you do an amazing job with that.
Yeah, that's a great day.
Yep. Your pickup truck was on attendance last year, and hopefully you're going to be in attendance. It's on your birthday this year, so you damn well better be there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
June 21st is your birthday?
It is, yeah. I should... I think we'll be in town. I mean, we'll be in town for the wedding for sure. So maybe we'll make it all happen. Yep. The barbecue is a great event too. Like if anybody, and I couldn't go to this one, I've been to previous ones, but that's a fun one where if you're anywhere around Burlington or thinking about getting involved, it's free.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Sponsor driven. Yeah.
It's super well attended. So like there's 100 different things to do. Matt and the boys get, games, barbecue, a whole bunch of fun stuff for the kids.
Bouncy castles, face painting.
Yeah, a bunch of fun stuff.
So. Tons of different companies come and set up like outdoor activities for kids to do. So there's stuff for kids to do for hours there for sure.
Yeah.
I think that one comes full circle too with, finding your support system and finding your tribe. Like, we've got an event too coming up. Like if anybody's listening to this and you're thinking about ways to work on yourself, get out there a little bit more, maybe find some new tribe, grow your tribe, whatever the case might be, shit like that. So easy, man. Just to, just go hang out. So that's an easy one to go meet some great people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that group, I mean, Jamie and I talk about it all the time. It's just been so awesome to watch it grow. And, some of us, certainly us at this table and a few others get to kind of steward things a little bit, but that's its own living, breathing thing.
Yeah. You've had a couple other big events that you did too. You did a huge fall cleanup one year that you had like 300, 400 people show up with their kids. We cleaned the whole city in like 4 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah. That was interesting. That was about 2 weeks after the bad day.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Was it that close?
Yep.
Man.
This was
I remember in my mind that they're much farther apart than that.
It was like one of the first steps for him to like be out there and just kind of like, I need to go do good.
Right. Yeah. That was a cool thing. It
was his therapy.
Citywide garbage cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We divided Burlington into like its various neighborhoods, focused on realtors as sponsors, and just said, okay, realtors, you'll pay a nominal sponsorship fee. We'll have a zone that you're dedicated to. We're going to promote the crap out of this. All you need to do is show up. And it worked, right? We brought in $10,500 for charity that you and I drove the checks out to. One was to a men's mental health place or men's shelter.
Men's shelter.
In Hamilton. Yeah. Men's shelter in Hamilton. And then to the Rock, we gave the other half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got some good pictures of the massive pile of garbage bags and recycling bags that we gathered up at the dump at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was like 6 hours, and it was like 400 people that showed up.
Yep.
In the different pockets.
Yep.
It was cool.
Yep. The kids that needed, like the high school kids that needed their community service hours, it qualified for that. And the city was a little bit cleaner. Some great charities received a few bucks, and some realtors got some exposure. It was awesome. Yeah.
Another great way to get off the couch too.
Yeah. Totally.
Looking for ways to get some fresh air and meet some people and get moving. That was a good one for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a few of those too. Yeah, and if you're listening to the other one that we've been doing and Jamie's been spearheading is with the United Way. There's a lot of good volunteer options there. So if you're looking for ways to get involved, reach out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Love the
dance.
Right on,
Maddie. It was awesome having you on today.
Yeah. Thanks.
What a pleasure. What an honor. Thanks, guys.
A lot of shit for people to think about and understand. That's for sure.
Yep.
Okay. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Chat soon.
And
All
you.
right, bye.